Today, I'm talking with Unai Gaztelu, who's in the Basque country and is a member of several co-ops there. He's also part of a group looking to launch a housing commons project in the Basque country. But first, his group is going to practice with bicycles and cars. Hi, Unai.
Hi, Dave.
Is
Great to
that
be here
right?
with you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
The first thing I wanted to ask is, well, the first thing I want to say is that I'll put links to more information about the tools and models you're using in the description. But before we talk about what you're doing exactly, I want to talk about why you're doing it. What's the problem you're trying to solve? What's your motivation?
Um, I would say like I think I can explain it like from two sides, like a more maybe negative one or pessimistic one is like I I I I would like to increase the freedom that we humans live with kind of. Um, that's the same as saying like reducing like the domination of humans over other humans or over nature and so on, so that we can basically live with peace, harmony, like doing things from love. That would be like the positive way of framing things, right? Like
Uh-huh.
imagining us living together and doing things from love, like like from positive, uh, from a positive attitude of optimism and love to nature, to others. Yeah.
We're a long
That's
way.
the most philosophical, let's say,
Yeah,
way of
we're a
framing it,
long way
maybe.
from that,
Yeah. Yeah,
generally speaking.
yeah, at a systemic level, I would say so. Then I see a lot of love, like and harmony and compassion, like at the small level, like
Yeah,
relationships, friendship, family. So yeah, depends on where you look at, but definitely.
yeah. I think humans are basically nice, uh, but we have a system that sort of pushes people to do things that are not nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is this Otto Scharmer quote, right? Like we collectively create results that nobody wants. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be true.
So tell us a bit about your background. Did you study, and what did you study?
Yes, I studied environmental engineering.
Uh-huh.
Yes, while ago, like 10, 15 years ago. Uh, but I don't know. I do not consider myself an engineer. Maybe I have the mindset, but I have not like really practiced, or I was never interested
Uh-huh.
really in like practicing it. And but I studied, yeah, environmental engineering, so I was pretty much concerned about what we humans are doing to planet Earth. That was my main concern, not so much like the social aspect of oppression or domination over other humans and so on. uh yeah, and from there, like, I started to basically think and practice different ways of yeah, changing that. And that's how I got to know different ideas, practices, ways of being, and so on,
Okay.
uh, that we can maybe talk about or
Yeah.
practice.
So, as I understand it, the idea, your idea is you issue and sell vouchers for future use of a bicycle, and with the money that you get from selling the vouchers, you buy the bicycle and away you go. Is that the sort of basic idea?
Yeah, yeah. As you just said it, that's the idea. We do not only buy it, but we repair it. Like the one we got was a bit rusty, kind of. So
Uh-huh.
we put it like in a perfect condition, and we also budgeted some components, like oil, like the pumping, like the thing to pump the some repairs, some spare parts, etc. But that's the basic idea. Yes.
Uh-huh. So if you think about it, that very simple idea can be used for lots of things: bicycles, cars, houses, energy infrastructure, land, leisure centers, pubs, sort of
Mm.
vouchers for use of a resource sold at a discount, and the discount makes it worth people's while to buy them.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I really like this. I think there is an article by Dale Green, where he mentions this a bridge, right? Like, and I think he talks about Varoufakis explaining a bit of the transition from feudalism to capitalism, which I mean has like it's a very contested topic, I guess, and has a lot of ongoing debate and so on, and there is no clear answer. But like a simplification they do here is how the people who had power kind of gave it away. And in a way, I see this what we are talking about, this use credit obligations as a mechanism to do so, right? Like because they offer people who are in power now, basically, or those who have capital nowadays, they it tells them, hey, you can put your capital to work. That's it. Like you will get more money, more capital out of it. But what's happening in the background is that we are growing the commons, right? Like we are uh, bringing resources under the commons. So it's kind of a what to say, a trick or a hack, let's say,
Yeah,
from my perspective. Yeah.
I know the article you're talking about. I'll put a link to that in the description as well.
Mm.
So is that so? Yeah. So how did you come across the idea, and what worked for you?
Yeah, I have been, I think, following the work of Chris Cook, Green, Mutual Credit Services, and similar people for a while. Um, and at the same time, I am, and my family, we are looking forward to living with other people in a shared house. We are part of a group who wants to live under a co-op house, and I hope we someday do that. So kind of having these two things together, I thought that it would be worth it to try and see if we could implement the housing commons model here in the Basque country, and
Right.
basically just talking with different people, and that's how we ended up here.
So ultimately, you're looking to start a housing commons. But yeah, I think practicing with a bicycle is something that simple. It's just a genius idea. Yes. So, can I ask about a bit more details about your project? What kind of bike is it, or how many bikes do you have?
Yeah, so far only one,
Okay.
where I would say we are demand driven, and we want there to be as many bicycles as people need, like not the opposite, right? Like have so many bicycles and feel the need to create a demand for them.
Right.
Yeah, and basically it was my cousin Eduardo, who is now a member and my partner, trying to develop these ideas and put them into practice. I was talking with him, and we shared in common that we like cycling, and we have been doing some tours in Spain, in France, in some other places. And there was a third friend who had like a spare bicycle. It's a, you said it's a racing bicycle, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah. And we said, hey, like this is a nice opportunity because we can have a bicycle for free, basically, and we can use it to experiment with this model for the housing commons, and that's what we did. The different, well, the difference, we decided to treat the owner of the bicycle as an investor. So we issued vouchers, use credit obligations, and we exchanged them for the bicycle and for the euros of some other investors.
Ah, right. So the person who donated the bicycle got some vouchers.
Yeah, he in turn gave them to our friend, because our friend was the one basically, looking for someone who wanted to have the bike. But yes, we they became an investor. They now own vouchers, and they are not necessarily users, so they are investors basically.
Yeah. So that's right. Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. That some people who own the vouchers, they're just investors. They maybe will sell the vouchers to people who want to use the bike, but they don't necessarily want to use the bike themselves. They're just investors. And
Exactly,
that
exactly.
can be the same with housing. We can have investors who hold the housing vouchers, but they don't need them to house themselves. It's just an investment, maybe part of their pension.
Exactly, and that, I mean, yeah, I know you guys are exploring that opportunity, that option of basically pension funds holding use credit obligations, and I think it's brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the free bicycle aspect. I mean, that may happen with houses too, as older people with no kids might leave their house to the commons in exchange for vouchers, or with a uh, with some sort of a clause which makes sure that they can live in the house for the rest of their life.
Definitely. I mean, I yeah. My parents own one house each, so I I often joke, but I think it's true. Like if I inherit one or both houses, like I would definitely put them into the commons,
Yeah,
and I hope I can convince them to do so, like while they are alive, like they can continue living there, pay with these credits if they want, and but make sure that the house is owned
yeah,
by the commons, and can continue to be an affordable house for whoever needs it, yeah, in the
yeah. So
future.
your house is going to be doing something good after you've gone, and also for the rest of your life, the maintenance is not your problem anymore.
True.
It's the commons who will maintain the property.
Hmm.
And maybe, we could have some sort of a package for people who put their house into the commons, that they get some care as well. Maybe not sort of professional care, but just people coming to look and see if they're okay and having a chat with them and a cup of tea.
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be, yeah. Care credits are also
Yeah,
an option and definitely super
yeah,
interesting. I think Chris Cook sometimes mentions, right, like how nowadays like older people are uh, they have money basically, but they miss care, and the opposite, right? Like young people, uh, we don't have assets, we don't own stuff,
yeah,
but we are able to provide care. So there is
yeah,
kind of a match there that makes sense, right?
yeah. Younger people have plenty of time and nowhere to live. Older people have, they need care and they've got too much house.
Exactly. Perfect fit.
It's a good match.
Yeah.
So how many vouchers did you sell, and how much are they each, and how did you work that out?
Yeah, we made some calculations. So first we budgeted. We wanted we needed about to raise 400 euros to pay for the bicycle reparation and some tools and so on. And then we decided, we were checking like the market price, let's say, of renting such a bike. Um, but we wanted it to be affordable, so we decided 5 euros per day. There is, for example, a local association in our hometown renting bicycles for such a price. I know there are some others renting it like a bit higher, or much higher, like maybe 20 euros per day, but those are like maybe better bicycles and it's for profit and so on. So then we decided that. Also, at the same time, we wanted to make sure that investors could get a return on their investment, relatively soon, and with numbers that make sense, right? Like, so we took into account the demand of the bicycle that we expect, because this is not like a house which is like always full, right? Like there is such a demand for housing nowadays.
Yeah,
Bicycle is not like that, so we made an estimate based on the usage that it already had or that we could expect, and from there we yeah, kind of with these parameters we said yes, like 5 euros per day, so issuing around 80 vouchers, that would make like that investors in the longest, maybe in 4 years, can get around like if I'm not mistaken, a 10% return. So yeah, it was pretty
so
decent, I would say.
it's a
Yeah.
proper investment.
Yeah.
And did the people who bought the vouchers, did the investors become full members of the group?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a part of how the thing works, right? Like, um, we are in the process of registering it legally. We will try with an association where the members are the users, so cyclists, the administrator, who right now is my cousin, who is taking care of the bicycle and of the finances and so on.
Okay, so that's the same as the houses. You need to maintain the houses and you need to administer the scheme.
Yeah, actually, there's this difference, right, between the bicycle and an asset like a house, where the bicycle probably needs more maintenance than a house, or more frequent,
Yeah.
and the margins are different. So that's also things that we are learning while we practice, and things to take into account. But definitely, it's the same model basically. So investors are also part of the commons, and we also have the guardian. It's like a figure, like a person or an organization which has veto rights,
Right.
and
So you're doing that
who,
as well. Okay, that's very interesting.
I mean, that's like the yeah, that's what we are prototyping, kind of, or testing it. We are developing our bylaws, and the goal is to have them accepted by the state here, and see what they think. Like, we are trying to frame it in a way that's compatible with what they require, but at the same time, we want to make sure that, for example, we are all together, right? Like the investors, that we are all together. We are the guardians, like, have the veto right, so we want to ensure that legally, um yeah, and we are also encoding it there in the bylaws, like how we want to make decisions, and we are going for consent decision making, so very much based on sociocracy.
Okay,
um,
so you're going completely full on custodian, member class, sociocracy. It's proper.
yeah, I mean, there is, yeah, and then we of course are also kind of in parallel already practicing, right? Even if it's not legally registered, we are already practicing,
Yes,
or
that's the important
because,
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
like, practicing to make collective decisions through consent. For example, we just had, like, our first decision a couple of months ago, and that's also fun and part of the process, definitely. And yeah, but there is also the question. I think that's an iterative process, because also having lower stakes with a bicycle allows us to make mistakes, kind of.
Yes.
uh, so something that I have in mind is kind of a bug bounty, like offering people maybe the chance to, hey, do you want to try to kind of steal our bicycle, kind of sell it, or if you are a member of the commons, sh- do you want to try and sell it, to see if our bylaws are good enough to protect it or not.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I mean, if we would only lose a bicycle, right? It's not
Exactly. You won't lose a
such a
house.
big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, these are things we are kind of doing as we can, like slowly, but steadily, and trying to enjoy. So yeah.
So you have meetings with the investors, the customers, the stewards, the people who look after the scheme and maintain the bicycles, and this final class of person, the guardian or the custodian,
Hmm.
who will have a veto vote if you try to do something which goes against commons principles.
Exactly.
How do you choose your custodian or guardian?
Well, that's like, uh, we have not done that yet, but we have definitely have conversations about that. And like, when you try to think about ways in which people could kind of hack it and do bad things, basically sell the assets, you can get crazy. But that's a very interesting question, because we arrive at this point of thinking that the whoever we decide the first guardian is, like the first person with veto power, is like, it's a key person, needs to be a key person. So we were actually, what came to mind is maybe Chris Cook or someone like that. I don't know if that's even possible, because he lives in another jurisdiction, but
Yeah.
like, someone we can, like, definitely truly trust. Yeah, because then well, there are a multitude of yeah, hypotheses, or like yeah, potential scenarios that we took into account, that we imagine, where this person is, like, key in a way. So
Yeah.
mm, yeah,
Just to
but I
tell,
think we
just
will
to say
just
to
this.
listeners, we're talking about somebody who is, you could consider like like a local respected person, like a village elder or somebody who will, just to make sure that you're not going to do anything that goes against commons principles.
Exactly. Another option which is very interesting is like not to choose a person but an organization, and we
Uh-huh.
are also in touch with some people in Galicia, so in the west of Spain, who are working on the same. They want to basically lock assets under the commons, and for that they are creating like a second order co-op or organization, which is basically this figure, this organization with veto rights for many different commons. So that's also an option, but we have not yet decided. We will decide it sociocratically anyway. So
Yes. But I think it's genius to work out all the things that you need to understand in a system which has low stakes. If the bicycle is stolen or lost, it's just a bicycle. But it's great to have everything in place, and so that you know what you're doing, so that you can move on to. And you're going to go do a car next, is that right?
yeah, I mean, because as you were mentioning, it's very nice, but at the same time, like for example, the bicycle does not legally have any property. It's not owned by anyone under
Yeah.
the state. They don't. The state doesn't care.
They don't care now. Yeah.
But the car is nice because they do care about who owns a car. So yeah, we want to do a car. We are already doing that, but not under this model because like a very small problem with the ownership and a parking spot that we already have. And anyway, not important stuff, but yeah, we definitely want to do it with a car and add this other feature of yeah, it's legally registered under the state. It has an
Yeah.
owner and what that entails in terms
So
of
that's great. So when
prototyping.
you come to looking at houses, you will have a lot of experience under your belt already. Uh, you
That's
won't
the
be
idea.
starting. You won't be starting from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, which I don't know what's best. Like in our case, it's also like like if we want to get started and maybe we don't have yeah the connections, the people around, whatever, the capacity to attract people to do it with a house. Like I know in Stroud you basically went all in and started with a house, which is great if you can also, right? Like
Yeah.
that's nice. But for people like us who are yeah maybe also learning how all this works and so on, then yeah, it's a nice option.
Yeah,
I
we're
would
learning as
definitely
well,
recommend.
but yeah, the stakes are a bit higher, but we're learning as well. Uh, so what are your vouchers? What are your bicycle vouchers denominated in? Is it one bicycle day, one day of bicycle use? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, we are. Well, we had yeah other ideas also. If the bicycle was of another type, maybe a bicycle that you would use like every day, basically, then we would maybe denominate it like monthly or whatever. Like thinking about people who are maybe living in our hometown, like as students for some time, and then they leave. So but for this type of bicycles, like you use them like daily, kind of. You go out here. It's very typical, at least, you go out with friends like for a tour, 50, 100 kilometers, whatever, and then you come back. So that's the use case that we have in mind, and thus we denominate it in yeah one day of usage.
Hmm. And yeah, and you don't print vouchers. Is all this on an app?
Yeah, exactly. We are using Citizen Wallet, which is a pretty simple wallet to use. It uses blockchain technology in the background, but that's not so important. Although it might be at some point, right? If the group grows and trust is not as big as it is right now. But yes, we are using it. It's very simple. You just download it. If you buy vouchers, you can either we have a shared account, so you can either send there the euros or pay us with cash, and then we can issue the vouchers, and then in this app you can see your balance, and you have two buttons to where you can send or receive, and when you make use of the bicycle, you pay with vouchers to the commons, or when you are if you are an investor or a user like buying or selling these vouchers, you just need to ask the other person for their username, and you can send them the vouchers and receive them.
Yeah.
So it's
Who
pretty
built the
simple.
app? Who built the app? Did you? Oh, it's an off-the-shelf app.
Yes, yes. It's also being developed, but yes, it's a project I collaborate with, and Citizen Wallet is, yeah, very nice and very friendly people.
Okay. And where are the bikes? Where is the bike kept? How do people get the bike if they get the use their vouchers?
Yeah, this is like just how we are currently doing it. So far, um, the last person to use the bike will keep it at home or wherever he or she can or wants, like in a safe place, basically. And what happens is that we mainly communicate on a WhatsApp group which has different channels. One of those channels is a booking channel. So if one person wants to use the bicycle, he or she would go there and say, "Hey, next week on Wednesday, I want to use the bicycle." And then the person who currently has the bicycle would say, "Ah, I have it now." So they would communicate, agree on yeah, how to
Okay.
take the bike from one place to another, and that's all. And the cycle will continue.
And
If someone has a problem storing the bicycle, Eduardo, our administrator, has been like keeping it most of the time, so has no problem keeping it.
and I know that this is a practice run, so you're moving towards houses. But do you have any more ambitions for, maybe you could have hundreds of bikes in the future?
Well, as said, like yes, that's an option, and if the demand is there, I mean, why not? We don't want to push things, like we don't want to, as a commons, we also need to decide like what we invest in or what we buy next.
Yeah.
If there is demand, we will. And actually, there is a good well, he's an investor, but is a good friend and very knowledgeable about this. Alex, who is working with a very interesting local currency in a town nearby, Equilur, and he kind of says, yeah, that's like he kind of pushes us to try and have like a big float of like maybe hundreds of bicycles, because he says that, yeah, maybe people do not care about what you are doing right now, but if you go and tell them, hey, we are this number of people and have this like 100 bicycles, then they will listen to you and they will say, well, this maybe, like works or makes sense or wherever. So I don't know. That's an option. I'm not personally very excited about that option because, at some point the management of the bicycles becomes like an issue, or like where you put most of the energy and attention. And yeah, we have also met people who are very much into that, who could probably help us developing tools or processes to manage, like, you know that quantity of bicycles. I am more of the idea that I would like to try it with, as I was mentioning before, with other resources which bring other features into the mix, like a car. I was just this weekend. I was in Barcelona, and I discovered, or yeah, a very nice project, which is basically a cooking machine that cooks for many people very very efficiently. And I thought that that's like, it's a bit expensive, like 5,000 euros, but then people can eat for as cheap as like 2-3 euros, like one meal. So that's very nice. And I'm thinking that's another an option that could maybe work also as
Yeah,
another
it could work with
future
any
prototype.
resource, couldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you do have hundreds of, if, for example, you did have hundreds of bikes, the voucher sales and the investments would generate the income to pay stewards to maintain the bikes and to look after the scheme.
Yeah. That's the idea. Definitely, scale helps for that. That's true. Yeah.
How is your group legally structured and what's the name? And it's going to
So
be Basque, isn't it? So it's going to be hard.
it's written on my name here if people can see it. It's Unai Txirrin. Txirrin is the name of our group now.
It's Txirrin, and it's pronounced
Exactly.
chirrin.
Txirrin,
Okay,
yes.
I've got you.
So in Basque, a bicycle is called chirrindula. So that's like chirrin is the short version of it, and chirrin is also like the name of the bell in bicycles. So chirriña. So we kind of liked it.
Oh, so is it named after the noise that the bell makes, like chirrin?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
And then legally, as said, like we are not yet registered, but we want to try to be an association. Um, and yeah, take it from there. Not sure like what will be best. Like some people mention that foundations are optimal for holding assets and ensuring that they cannot be sold. So we are also connecting with different people and kind of learning, practicing, theorizing about what options best fit our what we need to do.
And is the legal situation, is it how autonomous is the Basque country? Is it the Basque laws specifically that you're looking at, or is it the whole of Spain?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, in this case is Spain. So, but you have to go to the offices here in the Basque country, but then once you register, it's like you can basically the association works in the whole of Spain. So you are entitled to work anywhere in Spain and under the Spanish rules.
Uh-huh. So do you see yourself ultimately at the center of a large housing commons in the Basque country, spreading around the Basque country? Is that the kind of ambition that you have?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
So
mean, yeah, we would not be doing this. Like that's the yeah. My it's just a small story, but my cousin Eduardo, who is the partner working on this, gets into strange challenges. So the last one was he's training with a friend to run a trail race in the mountains, like which is 185 kilometers. And when I knew about it, I told him, "Hey, I would also like to do something like this with you." And his reply was something like, "Are you crazy? We are already doing that, right? Like you want to challenge like the current housing market, how the perception of houses, like the property and so on. That's like the biggest challenge you
yeah,
can think of." So yeah, we are already doing that. Of course, we have that ambition. At the same time, we are realistic and we take it slowly. uh, Also, like we didn't get any funding so far, and that's something that it's always like uh, kind of a tension, let's say, or do we want it, do we not want it, like will it help, it won't, I don't know. It's an ongoing discussion for which
yeah.
we don't have definite answers, but mm,
And we can plant seeds. As things start to change, uh, realistic changes as well.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how things will turn out, but I definitely trust this, and yeah, we definitely want to keep um, playing, experimenting, testing, and yeah, hope also like I'm very optimistic and dreamer, so I would also love to include some other collaborative finance tools into the mix, like mutual credit, or yeah, like the ones you were
Definitely.
mentioning in your article, right? Like MTCS and stuff like that. But as said, yeah, slowly, yeah.
Yes, so we're going to develop. We're building a commons lab in Stroud, and they're going to research and develop playbooks and toolkits for various commons models, including housing commons. And you're very welcome to have the playbook when it's ready. You might be ahead of us. um, uh, we'd love to document the growth of housing commons in other countries. And commons are being built in tiny pockets around the world, but we have to start somewhere. And,
Hmm.
and and there's potential to connect all these various projects in the future to sort of federate and get to a global scale.
Yeah, hope to see it, or at least yeah, we are trying. definitely.
So yeah, and I mean, so people could, I guess, replicate your bicycle project as well. And if you have any documentation about how you did it, do you have any documentation about how you did it, and like a little toolkit about if people are interested?
I mean, not like super well documented. We have a number of documents, and some of them are kind of explaining our steps. But I mean, so far, if people are, we would love if people are interested and just have a talk with us,
They
or
can contact you. Okay.
that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's part of why we are doing what we are doing. We're also kind of getting to know what people are doing, like under the with the same ideals and the same goals, but maybe under different names with different strategies. So we're also connecting with such people, movements, initiatives, and yeah, sharing what we are doing, and definitely inviting others to replicate or to support us, or yeah, to make small experiments with these ideas is something that we are like totally looking forward to doing.
Any other background information? Anything else you'd like to add, to discuss?
Mm, no, I don't know if anything comes to mind. Uh, no.
Okay, here's a question. Who would you like to see interviewed and why? What would you ask them?
Uh, Here, okay.
Anywhere, anything in the sort of a commons world. That
I mean, I would like to hear more. I know from Chris Cook, definitely. Yeah, for example, or this deal and these people, Tom, Paolo. I know people from Sardex, people from different. Yeah, people from maybe informal systems or cycles, or yeah, and maybe I'm lately also, yeah, as said, we are connecting with people, for example, um, yeah, working around the commons here. So people who are involved in traditional commons, uh, that's super interesting. Like some people doing, I don't know. There are many possible threads with many different conversations and questions. So um, yeah, many people.
yeah, and yeah, I'd like to keep in touch with you and learn about anything that you discover as well. Um,
Happy to do so. Yeah,
where
definitely.
can people keep up to speed with what you're doing? Do you have a website, or do you have a blog, or do you have where can people stay in touch with you or keep up to speed with what you're up to?
No, we are not publicly like sharing much, especially online. We do have an email that anyone can write to. It's chirrin@protonmail.com.
Okay, I'll
Uh,
put that link in the description
that
as well.
happy to connect with people through email. Yeah, we are keeping it small and sharing it with friends. People can also join our WhatsApp group if they want to, but that's mainly for for
That's internal,
practical,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, use. But if someone wants to be there and see what's going on, I don't have any objection so far. We will have to ask the rest.
Okay. Do you have any photographs of?
Yeah, we have a channel in our WhatsApp group where people share pictures with
Okay,
the bicycle.
maybe I can get a few photographs from you to put into the article.
Yeah, Chirrin was at the Le Tour de France in last summer, so
Uh-huh.
that.
Okay. Okay, I'll put links to everything we've talked about in the description so people can read up a little bit on the ideas. And Unai, it's been great talking with you.
Yeah,
Are
likewise.
you coming to the Festival of Commoning?
September?
October the 2nd and 3rd.
Okay. I mean, I never went. I was planning to do so, but I hope so. Definitely.
You'd
Yes,
be
yes,
very
yes.
welcome.
Yes.
Okay, Unai, lovely speaking with you, and hopefully I'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cheers, Unai.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.